Good morning, Breakfast Club family. This is Mark Stevens for your host, Joe Shute. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. For our regular family and any new family that we have, we want to welcome you. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Had a pretty exciting day, and I hope today is a great day for you as well. Joe will be in a little bit later on, or if not, then I do want to make an announcement that there will be a 12 o'clock webinar of the AdTech Worldwide Business presentation today, and also at 9 o'clock tonight. So what I would suggest, because that's sort of what I'm going to be talking about this morning and a couple of other things, I am going to go down a rabbit hole a little bit this morning to bring some of you up to date. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to bring it in conjunction with how important the AdTech Worldwide Business presentation is, and how it, how it kind of locks into what's happening in our country, and not just our country, but in the world. And remember that, we promote Karatbars, which is a company that's in 123 countries around the world. So what we talk about not only affects us here in the United States, but it affects the entire world. And that's why I want to bring a few things together and to encourage you to continually look and study that presentation, because if you look and study it properly, you will be able to connect with people and communicate with them after them seeing that presentation, and you should be increasing your business because, again, as I said, this presentation takes you on a journey. It tells you about the present, it tells you about your past, and tells you about your future, which only you can determine. So we need to bring all this together and understand it so that it can help everyone to help more people and bring more people, and help you bring on more affiliates, because that's what it's all about, growth. And what I'd like for you to do as well is, put any questions you might have in the chat box, and I will address those. And please keep them pertaining to the subject, because it's very important. And as I said, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole a little bit, because really the powers that were, and to some of you it's the powers that be, they don't want you to know this information. Because as long as you don't know this information, then you can be controlled like we have been for hundreds of years. But it has to stop somewhere, and it's about to stop now. So what I want to talk about right now is, I call it the shift. And it's happening before your very own eyes, our eyes, my eyes, your eyes, everybody's eyes. But if you don't know what they are, then you don't know how they affect you. Because remember what Joe says, he says, be careful in the direction that you're headed, because you might end up there. So we need to know what direction that we're headed, and we need to know the roadblocks, and we need to get off that winding road, and we need to get on that road that's paved with what? No pun intended, but paved with gold. So, well, Mark, what's this shift you're talking about? And you say it's happening before our eyes. Well, there are global changes in the money, in the dollars. And this so-called agency called the Fed, we've been told don't use three-letter words. Well, I'm using three-letter words because I'm going to tell you the truth. Regardless of the cost, I'm going to tell you the truth, because you need to know. Like I said, I love you because you're my family, and you need to know these things. Okay, they say don't use three-letter words. I won't use it then. I'll use the whole word. The Federal Reserve is broke. B-R-O-K-E, broke. And so in other words, what I'm saying is simply this. The United States of America, it can now be reported that privately owned, now notice what I said, privately owned Federal Reserve is now insolvent, and they're backwards in derivatives tied to major worldwide central banks. And these central banks, in the event that some of you don't know, are also known as the Bank of Japan. You've heard the European Central Bank, because that's almost in the news every day, and the German Deutsche Bank. Now, most people think the Federal Reserve, because the name federal, they think it's the government. Well, it's neither a government agency, nor do they have any reserves. And what they're doing now is basically buying up their own bad paper. And that's why the stock market is where it is. But it's a false flag. So what they're now doing illegally, and it's clearly outside their charter, they're using our money, your money, my money, which are the taxpayers' money, to buy back bogus loans of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. And you heard me talk about this from time to time, derivatives. Not using cash, but derivatives, which are also known as, they're negative short positions versus treasury bills as well as bonds and U.S. Treasury notes. Now, here's the thing. You always hear me say, get out of paper. Why does Mark keep saying get out of paper? Because the paper is backed by nothing. Which means if it's backed by nothing, when the banks go down like they did before, and they're going to go again, you're going to lose your money. Now, thanks to the treasonous Dodd-Frank Act, and that was signed by George W. Fraud Bush, I call him, your checking and your savings deposits are now subject to being looted by this criminal cabal, and that's including 90% of both elected Republicans and Democrats in the Congress. Like I said, they tried to fake you out, but they're on the same team. So all this crap that they're doing, they're on the same team, and it's all about taking your money. But guess what, family? It even gets worse. We now know that the privately owned Federal Reserve, controlled by the Bank of England, I told y'all the other day that your money goes to the Vatican and then to the Queen of England. Well, guess what? They have been, hold on one second. I'm getting a text. Let's see what this says. Oh, okay. Hold on one second. Thanks, Max. Okay, now the chat box is on and everything. So now you can put questions in the chat box. Forgot Joe turned it off yesterday and I didn't turn it back on. Okay, now I was saying that what has happened is this, is that what the Federal Reserve has been doing, unbeknown to you, is this. They've been accommodating the Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and the New York Mellon Bank in disguising massive wraparound non-collateral and without margin derivative debt. Remember I told you those are tied to mortgages. What happened in 2002, 2007, 2008? The bank started going under because all of these bad mortgages, and they were in the derivatives. And it's going to happen again. And they're tied to these banks. And what's happening is that it's really a scam, and it's wrecking and destroying the economy, but yet they're telling us that the economy is coming back. Well, if the economy is coming back, why do we still have so many people still out of work and don't know what they're going to do? There's another big bubble coming, and I'll have to talk about that another day. We're getting ready to have another bubble burst, and that is the student loan bubble. But we'll talk about that another day. So what has happened is that along with Bear Stearns, the U.S. economy in 2078 went by the wayside. Now, here's the thing. These mortgage-backed securities, which are still worthless, continue to be used as assets by the Federal Reserve when there are massive liabilities. Now, you heard about quantitative easing 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're doing all this and it's supposed to make the economy come back. Well, now they're buying up this bad paper back, and that's to keep the stock market up to a certain point. And then, like I say, when it crashes, you're going to lose all your money. That's why I said get out of paper, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, what to do. So what I'm saying is this, is that, you know, even when the Department of Labor employment report comes out, you know, sometimes they leak it to the world, but they leak it first to the crooked banks and everything. So, but even we're counted as U.S. citizens, and the Congress is supposed to be working on our behalf, but they're not. They're working on their own behalf. And this is why you can't even believe what you get on the news today, because that's controlled too. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you all of this because it can hurt you, and it is hurting you, and it's got to stop. And there are people that are hurting, and we can help them, and we're in the best position to help them. How do we help them? We happen to be affiliated with a company that is debt-free, that has the one commodity that has been real for almost 6,000 years and continues to be real today. And it's one of the few things, if any, that's going to save us from what they're trying to do to us and what they are doing to us and some of us. The last time, people lost about 40 to 50% of their retirement. This time, there might be more if you're in paper. But if you're in precious metals, you stand a better chance and the best chance to survive and protect your family. So what I'm saying, again, is that's the importance of the presentation that Joe and I put together. It, you know, because what we put in there is what has happened in the past, what's happening right now, and what's going to happen in the future. And that's exactly why I'm saying the things that I'm saying right now, because you need to know and you need to understand so that you can do something about it if you're in that situation, and that you can help other people that you care about, as well as people that you meet and people that you know, help them out. You have the key to open the vault. Now, let me say this, and I'm going to tie this to what we have in the presentation and what we have here with Karatbars, because there are basically about 5 mistakes that a number of people are making in their business, and you need to avoid these mistakes. And what you want to do is, as I kind of go through them, look at yourself and see if you're making these mistakes, and if you are, then what you need to do is correct them. Because see, at one time or another, virtually everyone thinks about, believe it or not, starting a home-based business because of downsizing, because of people, 78% of the people not liking their jobs and dealing with, as I always say, supervisors from hell, and thinking that, you know what, I can do this better. If I was in control, I could do it better. I could do a better job, do something better for the public, and what have you. And you can. And those of us that made the decision to promote Karatbars, that's the decision that we made. So it's important to remember that, you know, when you're launching a business, it is risky. And, you know, according to an SBA report recently, it says that about 50% of all small businesses fail within just 5 years. But we also know that in about 18 months, they're gone if they're not properly set up. And so I want to just kind of hit some of that a little bit today. And I want you to think about this presentation that we put together and how you can apply it to what you're doing, that you can do it better, make yourself better, make your business better, make your your co-affiliates better. Because if you're a leader, they're going to be looking to you to guide them. And especially the new people that come in, they need guidance, they need education. And we've got all of that set up. I don't have to beat that, because we've gone over it and over it and over it, even though we're going to still keep going over and over it for the benefit of the new people that come in as well. So one of the things that people that are starting a business, one of the mistakes that they make is inaccurately gauging demand for their service or their product. In other words, when you go into a business, then before you do that, you want to understand the business you're going in. If it's a product or if it's a service, you need to understand the demand for it. Because if you go into something, it's just like people, these students that go to college, they go and they take subjects that there's not a great demand for it. And when they come out, they can't get jobs because they really took the wrong subject. There's certain subjects that, we live in a technological world now. So, a history major is not going to do too much good right now. What is it going to do for you? So, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to study in school or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that when you make these decisions of education, because you're going to have thousands of dollars of debt when you come out, and you're not going to be able to take care of it, teaching history or whatever like that. And what I mean by that, they don't pay teachers much money the way they should be compensated. And so you need to be in a field that's really growing, and you need to be in a business that you know what the demand is for your product or your service. And let me tell you something. The product that we have is in great demand. You might say, well, Mark, I don't really see that. Well, guess what? It's in great demand because you know it is. And the reason that a lot of other people don't know is because what little that they do know is that, I get a bar of gold, I have to buy it by the bar. That's like $33,000 to $38,000, depending upon the cost of gold on a particular day. Or I don't have $1,200, $1,500 to buy an ounce of it. But what do we have? We have a product that you can get in grams. That creates the demand. And remember this, when the movement of money, and you are in the way of the movement of that money by educating people, it creates commissions. It creates paydays for you. So understand the demand that you have, because the product that we have, only 3% of the world even has any of it. The other 97% don't even know about it, or they don't think that they can afford it. But look what we have to offer them. We can offer them in small amounts of 1 gram, 2.5 grams, 5 grams. Currency grade gold. 24 karat, 999% currency grade LMBA gold. That's a great thing. And the more people that see this presentation and see where they are in that presentation, the better it is for you that you can help them. Because a lot of people don't even know or even think that they're in trouble. But I can tell you from the experiences that I'm starting to have is that when people see it, they say, oh my goodness, we in that type of bubble? Is that happening to us? I didn't know that. What can I do? And who's able to help them to change that but you and me? So we have to know what we're doing. Now, the next thing is that a lot of people will enter business and they'll enter into a crowded market without a competitive advantage. Now, some may look at that we're in a crowded market and some may not. Well, I can tell you we're not, because most of the people don't know that they can afford what we have. The 1% control the majority of it. The 1%ers are dumping what? Stocks, bonds. What am I saying? Paper. They're dumping their paper, and now they're buying gold. Even countries, when you talk about the BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're even setting up their own bank to get away from the US dollar, which has been devaluing for the last 100 years, and it's only worth 2% of what it was way back when. Remember? Past, present, future. That's what's in the presentation. So what I'm saying is that the product that we have a competitive advantage over everybody else because we're offering it in these low amounts. 1 gram, 2.5 grams, and 5 grams. Who else is doing that? As cheap as we're doing it. So we have a great competitive advantage. Now, what we have to do is we have to stop being secret agents and share it. We need to start inviting people, and that's why Joe and I decided to do this at 12 o'clock and at 9 o'clock at night, bring people to that presentation and then be able to answer those questions. That if you've gone through the communication class and everything, you'll be able to answer their questions and you'll be able to set up savings accounts as well as bring on affiliates. Just think about what I'm saying and just pull it all together. Now, the third thing that a lot of people do when they go into business is they forget to count the costs. Now, let me say this, like any other large-scale project, such as building a house or successfully launching a business, guess what it requires? It requires upfront accounting costs, both financial and personal. And the problem is, if it's undercapitalized, that's one of the reasons for the failure. So what I'm saying that to say this, you have to put money into your business. To grow your business, you do have to put money in it because you need leads, you need, you need materials, there's so many things that you need, and you have to be prepared for that. And if you don't have that, you have to find ways to work to bring that to fruition. And let me tell you, we have a situation that nobody else has. In other words, you can come into this free with no money, broke. You have to work harder as opposed to you having money. But in the uni-level system, you can bring people and introduce people, and you can still make not a lot of money, but you can make some money that you'll just have to save to build your business up. But then the other thing is this, is that you can sell those 3D cards and get money to buy a package and don't have to come out of your pocket. That's available. So we have a situation that is really no reason why no one won't come into this business, because it doesn't cost you anything to come into it. You can join for free. Free account if you just want to save money. Free website, all of that's free. Just join and come, even as an affiliate. It doesn't cost you to join as an affiliate. The only thing that costs is the package. That's the cost of the package. But guess what? Like I'm saying, if you go into a business, if you're going to build a building, you got to buy bricks, so you have that building built, unless you're going to build it yourself. But there's a cost involved. That's all I'm saying. You have to count the cost. So it includes startup costs, expenses that you have to take on before your business can start paying you. You have to take on some of those costs. So what you have to do is figure out what the cost is going to be. And guess what? You have that choice with us, because you can decide which level of package you want to come in with, which also does what? It determines how much income you make when it's time to get paid. So that's number 3. Now, number 4 is simply this. A lot of people, they fail to delegate and ignore critical functions. What do I mean by that? No one person is great at, at every facet of running a business, me included. So you have to make sure that you can identify each critical function. And if you can't do something, then you delegate it. You delegate that task to the best person for the job. Well, then you say, well, okay, Mark, how do we do that here? Okay, if you're working with people and you're bringing people in and you're a group, team, TEAM, together, everyone achieves more, you find somebody that's better in that task that you are, and you work together. Remember, like I said, we're family. We do this to help each other become better, because we're better as a team as opposed to being better by ourselves. So you have to think about that. So you use your strengths to your best advantage, and you offload those functions to somebody else that can do it better than you can, until you learn how to do it. And then when you do that, then what do? You teach somebody else, and that's where your duplication comes in and takes place. So you have to think about those things like that. And the other thing too that's very important is you make sure that you never ignore the things that you don't like to do. There's a lot of things we don't like to do, and I know a lot of you don't like to pick up the phone. Well, I don't particularly like to pick up the phone, and I'm very good at the phone. But I like talking to people. I like looking them in the eye. I like pressing the flesh. I like having fun. That's the way that I do it. But some of you may not want to do that. You may not want to do something crazy like I do. Walk in a bank and throw my card down on the desk and a $100 bill and say, what is that? Does two things. It kind of shocks them, but it kind of wakes them up also. And then I end up having to educate them, and I get their interest. So that's just one of the crazy things that I do. But it's not crazy to me. I'm having fun. And it does get people's attention. So, and then I use what's in the communication class. If they don't want to engage right then, I'll just ask them, who do you know will consider a career change for the right money? And then, what you learn in the class, I use all of that. But it's just second nature to me. I use it, I use it everywhere I go. That's why I love talking to people, because if you're willing to be a good listener, people will tell you what they don't have, what they need, and what they want. You just got to be a good listener. That's why you have to be a good connector. That's why we talk about that. That's how you connect people. And here's the thing. People don't care about how much you know. They care about how much you care. So if you show them that, it makes a big difference. Now, the final thing that people fail to do, and that is, believe it or not, they don't plan. They have no planning for profitability. When you go in a business, and in this business that we do, you have to plan for profitability. So, and one of the first things that you should do is, when you're making your business plan, and even those that are of us that are in right now, if you have to redo it, remake your business plan and define your business model. We already know what our model is. We already know that. So what are we? We are a business somewhat like Amazon.com, but we're in the precious metals business. And our model is not multi-level marketing. It's not. It's affiliate marketing. It's different. It's different. And you need to understand that, because guess what? When you go and you talk to somebody that's in multi-level marketing, they're going to say, nah, that's multi-level marketing. I had that, this or that. No, but guess what? If you can explain 5 or 6 things to them that shows that it's not a multi-level marketing, guess what? You can turn them around. You can show them what you have that's better than what they have or they've experienced. And you know what? They'll re-engage. They'll re-engage. So what you need to know is, for example, what is your gross margin on your sales? Do you know what you make on a package? Do you have it in your memory that you can share? Do you know, how many units on this side and that side, and based on the package that you've purchased, what it pays you? You have to gauge all of that, and you have to watch your money. So remember, the 2 main reasons of why businesses fail Number one is lack of capital. So that's why you have to watch your money. And mismanagement is the second thing. But if you have those two things together, you can make it. And then if you have the type of product, if you have the type of system, if you have the type of communication and the connecting that we have here, I mean, we have something great. But if you don't share it, you don't have anything. We have something that needs to be shared with as many people as you can. And guess what? You're going to run into people, family, that they don't want to sell, and not that we don't sell, we're not gold peddlers, but they don't want to do that, but they want to just protect their money. You have that to offer them too. Build up some customers, because guess what? Eventually, they'll come back to you and say, well, you know what? I'm saving everything, but I like to save more. I need to make more money. Well, guess what? You got it right here. Just become an affiliate. Now, when I put people in, I always put them in as an affiliate, whether they want to market it or not, because I know that at some point in time, there's a good chance that they want to market it, and it's already set up. All they got to do is just get a package and let me help them and go to work. It's that simple. So you need to think in terms of that. So, you know, how many sales or how many of this or that do you need to break even? Have you gotten your money back that you put in Karatbars? Have you gotten paid for the time that you put in? Remember the question we asked? You know, have you ever felt like you weren't paid what you're worth? Well, in this company, we're paid in direct proportion to the amount of effort that we put forth. If we put forth a little bit of effort, we make a little bit of money. If we don't put forth any effort, we don't make any money. But if we put forth a lot of effort, we make a lot of money. That's how you answer when somebody asks you, how much money are you making? Because we really know it's really not any of their business, but it's a way to answer that properly, and they'll get the picture. Because nobody really likes to ask, you know, you go and just randomly ask somebody, how much you making? They're gonna look at you like you're crazy. Who are you? I don't need to tell you how much I make a year or this or that or whatever. Well, we got ways of answering that. So, you know, to sum it all up, and again, what makes our presentation so great is that the things that Joe and I put in there is a way that set people up to do what you want them to do. You just have to know how to tie it all together to get the job done. And like we say, you do it, you do it, and you do it until you get the job done. Because think about it. Successful franchise companies have proven products and processes. We have a process. I have a guy I'm working with now that he's so used to doing something one way that I have to keep telling him, no, this is a different business model that you're accustomed to. We have a process. We have a system that we do that makes it easier for you. You don't have to work that hard or doing what you want to. No, that's not the way we do it here. As I said, this is the way that we work. And you have to know how to do that, and you have to have the courage to tell somebody that. Don't be afraid of losing somebody, because it's their loss and not yours. So the thing is, you know, and even more importantly, is franchise companies can provide the support you need to make good decisions. And this is somewhat like a franchise, Karatbars, but it's just it's affiliate marketing. But you have a great product, you have unlimited income, you have unlimited support, at least from us, and you have all the ingredients that you need to make it successful. And I'll keep saying it and saying it and saying it. Give it to us, give it to yourself, and look at yourself a year from now. You will be pleasantly surprised. So what I'm saying, because we're a little bit past the bottom of the hour, is that things are going on in the country, in the world, that you can affect other people by what you do and by what you share with them. And by you doing that, it changes your situation. It improves your life. How many lives can you help improve in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. And as I keep saying, the best way for you to make money is help somebody else make it first. And the more people that you can show and help make money, guess what? The more income is going to come into you. And we have, to me, we have the perfect model. So think about those things that I've shared with you today. Let me go to the chat box in case there are any questions. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box and I will address those questions. And while I'm waiting, in the meantime, again, at 12 today, the AdTech Worldwide Business presentation will be shown. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time today, the AdTech Worldwide Business presentation will be shown. Bring somebody to the presentation. If you can't be there, send them there. Send them there and then get back with them. Guess what? That's what they do every day, selling gold. 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock p.m. Somebody in Karatbars is doing the Karatbars presentation, selling gold. Well, what we do here at AdTech Worldwide in the Breakfast Club, we do two things. We teach people how to have a successful business from home. When we teach them, we educate them. We're an education company. And we teach them how to get their financial house in order, which is the things that are affecting a lot of people. And if we can help them with that, we can help ourselves. So I don't see any questions. And that tells me one of two things, that you got it, you're going to use it, you're going to go to work and you're going to do it, or you're still not ready and you're still getting ready to get ready. But you know what? That's your choice too. But our choice is to be here to help you, to encourage you, to show you, and help you become successful. That's what we're all about. So with that being said, I don't see any questions. Peace and blessings to you. Go out, make it a great day. Get on the broadcast. Call somebody when we close out here. Call somebody and make sure that they're on the broadcast with you at 12 today or at 9 tonight or both of them. And the more that you see it, the more that you get out of it, and the more that you use it, I'll guarantee you, the more things that will start happening in your business. So with that being said, peace and blessings to you. Go out, make it a great day. Share your business with somebody. Help change a life, a career. Help people change the economy in their home one by one, city, state, county, and the world. And remember, let's first be the change in us that we want to see in the world. And we want to see the world financially free, have time freedom, be with the people they want to be with, their families, and them happy, get rid of the stress, and just have joy in their life. So this is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shue, saying peace and blessings, everyone. Go out, make it a great day, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning on The Breakfast Club. Make it a great day, everybody.